The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storylines with Nick Eatman.
What is up? Welcome to another edition of Cowboys Storyline. I'm your host, Nick Eatman, joined by no one. Not yet, at least. Johnathan Hankins is going to join us here in a little bit. And as always, I've got my awesome producer, Chris Beam, running the show back here. But I've got you guys, got the fans, got great questions. I know I got a lot of them lined up. We're going to answer those later on in the show. I will answer one here in this first one. I'll get started with that in just a second because it hits with what we talk about here when we start off Cowboys Storyline. It is the storylines. What are the storylines? What is happening? And there was some few things happening here today at practice. Some injuries. Injuries starting to pile up a little bit. Hopefully nothing severe. As it stands right now, as we do this, Mazi Smith had an MRI. It sounds like on his knee. Did not practice today. Cowboys wanted to check that out. Hopefully they get good news there. Tyler Biadasz, center, he rolled his ankle in the middle of practice. He walked into the medical tent, came back, did a few things, but not a lot. I think they held him out for the last part of practice. I saw him actually walking around a little bit. I think he's okay. Dr. Nick here, don't know. I would hate to assume, but it seemed like he was probably all right. Wanye Thomas left practice and went to the tent, came back, returned. David Durden, this guy's making some plays now. He's a rookie free agent from West Florida. He's a former baseball player. I think he's 25 years old, 24 years old, rookie. But he's played in the Red Sox minor league system for a couple years, I believe. And he had a phenomenal catch that he got banged up on. They checked him out. He didn't return to practice. Not going to say it's concussion-like symptoms. Don't want to jump the gun on that, but he was banged up pretty good. But it was a heck of a catch, and it had a lot of his teammates running and jumping, and it was like an and one mixtape. When someone dunks and the whole crowd goes nuts. That's what that was like there. David Durden. He has a couple of other diving catches. He's got really, really good hands. So some injuries here for the Cowboys. We'll see if there was the one to watch is certainly Mazi Smith. That's the one we've got to keep an eye on there. Tony Pollard is expected back Tuesday. This is today. Expected back in Oxnard for tomorrow's walkthrough, practice, whatever. He's left the last couple days. Had some personal issues to take care of. Personal matter. He should be back. What this is doing is just open up the game. They open up the backup runners. Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn. They're getting a lot of carries here. Hunter Lipke's getting some carries because Pollard has been out and Ronald Jones suffered a groin injury, so he's been out. So that's kind of where we stand there. And if you're just keeping score at home, maybe Zach Martin is actually keeping score because he is home, and his score right now looks like $750,000 in fines. Not good at math, but we counted 15 days now that he has not reported to camp, times 50 grand to $750,000, $750,000. Hope he's making his point. I don't know what's happening there. I love Zach Martin. I really do. I do not understand that. That's tough, but hopefully it's going to end well for him. It's hard when you're 750 down, 750K down. So what's happening? Josh Ball's playing a lot at right guard, and one of the things that Mike McCarthy said at his press conference today was that he has made the transition. He basically called Josh Ball a guard. He said he bends very, very, very well for a guy that's 6'8". That's always been my thing about him playing guard is can he get low enough? Can he have leverage? And so far he's done a pretty good job with that. And, when you go up against Mazi, you go up against Hankins, you go up against Osa, you're going up against some pretty good D tackles. You're going to get tested fairly well there. So I want to see it in a game like everyone does. But that's one thing to keep an eye on. Josh Ball has continued to get a lot of work there at right guard. It looks like he's made that transition, but I doubt he's going to play. He could play well, but it's going to have to be really, really, really well for anyone to be missing, or not missing, sorry, Zach Martin. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to be joined by Johnathan Hankins. Big Hank will come up to the set. We'll be right back here on Cowboy Storyline.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Cowboy Storylines.
Welcome back to Cowboys Storyline, and as promised, I told you we could get him in here. Big Johnathan Hankins is with us. The first time I've actually got a chance to interview you, man. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So being out here, this is your second year with the Cowboys, but first training camp, right?
First training camp, yeah.
You like being in California, right?
Oh, I love it. You can't beat this weather. Can't beat this area where we at, and obviously it ain't burning, but it's a little toasty.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I'm glad we could get you in the shade.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. No, but sometimes on those morning practices it works out better. But they kept you out there for a while here today.
Yes, they did. It's just training camp. We're trying to get our reps in. Work the technique, and obviously, it's a grinding camp, but just working to get better every snap, every play.
What was it about? I mean, this is what 11th year I think for you.
Yeah, 11.
11 years. That's
yeah,
awesome.
That's
dope. And moved around a little bit. Giants, Raiders, Colts for a year.
Yeah.
What was it about the Cowboys that you were like, I'm going to come back? Not only come back for 11th year, but come back here.
Man, really just the guys in the D-line room. The whole team, just the atmosphere, the coaching staff, the organization. I done been to a few teams and been a part of some good teams, but coming into Dallas last year, a winning team, and just seeing how everything was run, how the players engaged with one another, and just the passion for it, and then DQ and our D-line coach, it just made it a lot easier to want to play for those guys, and it put me in a situation where I can actually thrive and show people out there I can still ball.
Other positions, receivers, tight ends, corners, they draft a first-round pick at that position. They get a little salty about it, like, what did they say about me? I have a feeling you weren't salty at all with that getting Mozzie Smith.
I did not mind. Honestly, I was actually happy. I was a little surprised because, obviously I'm an Ohio State guy, and he's a Michigan guy. And I'm like, bro, I didn't really hear too much about this guy. But once I went and, checked him out and watched him and then, seeing him in person, I said, yeah, they got something special. So I don't really think, me and him in the middle, whoever the rotation may be, we ain't got to worry about too much. But Bruh's definitely, a good selection that they made.
Back in the day, I think your second, third, fourth year when you were with the Giants, I'm sorry, I don't even know his
You
name.
got to bring that back up.
I don't even know his name, honestly, because they just called him Snacks.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Damian Harris.
Damian Harris, that's right.
Damian Harris.
Snacks.
Yep, big Snacks.
And you two together, I mean, because that was Dak's rookie year, and they lost the first game. They won 11 in a row, lost the next, and they lost to you guys both times.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something about that middle there. I don't think Zeke loved running right through the middle. But the combination of two guys, like you said, two really strong guys, what can that bring this
man,
defense?
it could bring a lot to this defense, especially on first and second down, putting offenses in situations they don't want to be in and where we are actually comfortable at and thriving at. So anything in second and long or, third and 15 or second and 15, we got another group of guys that's ready to come in and, destroy these quarterbacks and running backs. So it kind of plays into our hand, and that's what we're trying to do this year.
Fans are typically really smart of what's going on with all positions, but I think sometimes they kind of forget defensive tackles aren't supposed to get a ton of sacks. 3 or 4 sacks is a good season, but your second year, 7 sacks.
Yeah.
What were you doing? I mean, what was going on there? Man,
really just listening to the older guys and just going out there and play. At the time we had JPP, Justin Tuck, and I had some, Cullen Jenkins, Manville Joseph. So I had some veterans around me that gave me the confidence to go out there and be myself and, show that just because we run stoppers don't mean we can't get to the quarterback or affect them. And, I just put it all there out on the table,
Awesome. Well, I've got some questions here from the fans, and one of them, they're going to go right in. This is from Ernie.
Going right in.
Ask him if he's stronger than Mozzie Smith.
No, nowhere close stronger than that guy. Look here, when it comes to the weight room, I'm not strong. But you put me on the field, football position, good technique, I can out-strength anybody in front of me.
What have you seen play out here or even in the weight room? What have you seen from Mozzie that you're like, oh, this boy?
Well, this guy warming up with 315.
It's warming up.
That's usually like my inset when I'm done with my workout. So that right there just shows you how strong and powerful this guy is.
Yeah. All right, let's go with some other questions here. This one is from William Houchins. He said, I love Big Hank. Been waiting on him for a player like this on this team for years. My question is if you can ask him, what's the most important attribute of being able to hold up at the point of attack? Size, strength, or maybe technique?
Technique and having good bend in the knees and just understanding, what kind of blocks you're getting and then just going out there and balling. You can't really think too much when you're inside in the middle, especially when you're getting double teamed a lot. But just going out there and playing, I've been doing this for 11 years now. I can pretty much close my eyes and play a block.
So, Dave from South Texas, who's your least favorite lineman to go up against in camp and why? He's probably not here, is he?
Yeah, I didn't really, last year in practice going against that guy. It's a handful, but surprisingly, Tyron Smith, man. Sometimes when I get into 2 hours, sometimes 3 technique, and you get a down block from that guy, it's like a steel brick hitting you at times. So, I try to stay away from him.
I feel like, everyone wants to have the left tackle of the future. I've said it several times. I think he's a left guard because I think you got to protect the middle, especially with your quarterback and need to run the ball. You feel like he's a guard tackle or he's just a baller? He's just whatever. Tyler Smith.
Oh, man. He's just a baller, man. When you getting guys like that to be able to play inside and out, both sides, both tackles, that guy's athletic. You know what I mean? Not just an offensive lineman, he's athletic as well. But it was nice not seeing him today, too, as well.
Well, Jake Benoist, this says, do you remember battling anyone as badass as Zach Martin? So I'll just kind of change it. Who is the best interior lineman you've ever faced?
When I was with the Giants, when it was Frederick, who was the center?
Travis Frederick was
Travis Frederick. I had
Leary, maybe?
Leary.
And
just that whole
Zach,
offensive line back in the, when I was playing back in the day. It was war out there, man. It wasn't no cupcake game for neither one of our sides. So I'll probably say Dallas.
All right, Dallas. That's good. That's what they're obviously trying to get back here. All right. So what does year 11? What does a preseason type thing look like for you? Do you need some reps? Do you want some? Or would you rather just say I'll go up against the Giants?
Well, sure. If they want me to go get some reps, I go get them. You know what I mean? I would never turn on any reps, especially if the coach tells me to go out there and get them. But obviously in practice, I'm getting a ton of reps, getting a lot of snaps. So, but this being year 11, most guys won't want to play. But thankfully, we got a lot of good depth, a lot of young guys that need to actually get the reps and show, what they can do. So either call, it don't matter.
All right, so I'm going to translate.
Yeah.
If you want me to play, I'll play. But if it's helmet or sunflower seeds, I'm taking the sunflower seeds.
All the time, all the time.
All right, number 11.
Yep.
He seems pretty good out there, rushing the passer, rushing left side, right side, up the middle. When you have a guy that's as dominant as him, this will be our last one. When you have a guy dominant as him that can play so many things, how does that change what you guys do, or how exciting is it?
Bro, it literally makes it easy for everybody else. And my man is Mike is a generation talent. Like, I still get memorized of watching him practice over pass rushing, just because he could be a linebacker. He can rush from the outside. He can rush from the 3. He can rush from off the ball in front of the center. He can rush on top of the center. And he's not that big of a guy, but he's so explosive, so fast, so good with his hands. And this is year 3 for him.
Yeah.
Like, I had never seen nothing like it, man. I can't really. I don't know if you can compare him to. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, they try to compare him to Lawrence Taylor. That's before your time, but I'm sure you've heard a lot about him when you were at the Giants.
No, for sure. I would definitely respect Lawrence Taylor, but in this generation and Micah's time, he's by far one of the best defensive linemen I've ever seen.
Awesome. He's seen a lot. This is, like we said, year 11. All right, we're getting the wrap-up sign, so we got to go. You've had a long practice. It's time to get back into the locker room. All right, Johnathan Hankins, thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. It's
all
been
right,
good.
We'll be right back to answer more fan questions on Cowboys Storyline.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
Welcome back, Cowboys Storylines. I'm Nick Eatman. Really want to thank Johnathan Hankins for stopping by. He's a fun guy, big old strong guy. Drives a really cool car too. He didn't want me to talk about it, but it's pretty cool. Drives it here in the parking lot. Got some swag to him for a big guy. And that's funny how he said that about. I think most veterans feel that way about preseason. Like, yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm a football player. I'll play if you want me to, but do you really want me to? Preseason, you got to get ready for that Week 1 game against the Giants. You know he will be chomping at the bit for that one, having started his career with the Giants and played the first 4 seasons there. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the defensive tackle position. We have a question here from Brett Bender. Says, Nick, what are your thoughts on the defensive tackle position in Dallas? Any chance Bohanna or Gallimore make a bigger impact this season, they're going to have their work cut out for them. There's no doubt about it, because when you draft a player first round, like they did in Mozzie Smith, first time in, I think, 32 years since Russell Maryland, that you drafted a first rounder. And of course, he went 1 overall, but still, it's not a position you typically do. You don't address it that early, but the Cowboys did this year. He's obviously making it. He's going to have a big impact. I think Oso Odigizua is going to have a nice role in the middle as well. And then, of course, the guy we just interviewed, Hankins, they've re-signed him, and he's going to have a prominent role as well. So then past that, then you start wondering where some of these other guys will fit. And Neville Gallimore is in that boat. So is Bohanna. So is Chauncey Golston. So I think they've got depth. I think that they've got trade potential there. If there is something that they need right before the end of preseason and training camp, I could see that happen. I could see the Cowboys maybe trying to trade somebody that is just not going to make the team. I've said it before. You've got draft picks at defensive tackle that are going to be fighting for spots, and that's Gallimore, that's Bohanna, that's Golston. I know I'm missing a tackle in there. Somebody else that is I know Isaac Alarcon's in there. He's not probably ready to make the team. Practice squad would be his best thing, because he's starting over. He's starting over playing defensive tackle. So his best bet, I would think, would be practice squad. So to say they've got some talent, I think Mozzie and Hankins, that's going to be very, very strong. Osa, I mean, that's a really good set of defensive tackles there in the middle. And then you also factor in all those pass rushers they have on 3rd and long. Tank slides inside. Sometimes Dorrance can slide inside. So you're going to have guys rushing the passer from the inside as well. All right, Mike Gray, I think he's from Apopka, Florida. He's one of the old school listeners. He's one of the OGs of DallasCowboys.com radio. Says, with the additions of Hankins, Gilmore, Cooks, guys that have actually won Super Bowls, and the impact they have made off the field in the locker room, do you think it will change Stephen Jones' approach in the future when it comes to adding veteran players? Let's see what happens on the field. I mean, right now, they seem to be good additions. Let's see if Gilmore goes and has 6 interceptions and he's a great player and he helps Diggs even more, then yeah, that's a great move. Same with Cooks. He's had 1,000 yards 5 different places. Let's see if he can do it again. I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't. I don't think they will say – I don't think Stephen would say that they're changing their approach. I think that it worked for this time, and they found situations that worked. Remember, they had a few more picks that they were able to part with, compensatory picks, that they were okay doing that. So I don't think they're changing their philosophy, but I do think that if it works, I think you'll definitely look to do it again, case-by-case scenarios. All right, Joe Simpson. He says, I'm truly worried about the Cowboys' O-line. Do you consider it a potential Achilles heel of this team? Offensive line is always the Achilles heel of the team, potentially. Because if you can't block, you can't do anything. You can't run, you can't throw, you can't catch. You can't do anything. So if you get an injury or 3 at the offensive line, yeah, it potentially could be a problem. Or, like we said earlier in the show, if Zach Martin just continues to hold out, just give money to charity, which is what he's doing right now. But, with him not out there, then you wonder what else is what other guys are going to slide into this mix. I think that it'll be fine eventually, because I do think they have some talent. It's going to take a lot of injuries. It's going to take an injury, to Tyron and then the backup, or maybe another guy, knock on wood. But I just think, bless you, wow, strong sneeze up there in the gallery. I think that the offensive line is in good shape right now, but all it takes is 2 or 3 injuries at any point, and then it could be on the rails at that point. So I'm not truly worried about it. We haven't played any games, though. I want to see what Matt Waletzko can do. I want to see what Josh Ball, as we talked about him earlier. I want to see these guys in games. And, you also want to see Tyron Smith and how he can if he can stay healthy. He really hasn't been able to do it last 5 years. This year it's a little different. His contract is different. He's making about $1 million a game. So I bet you he'll make sure that he's out there the best that he can be, and he's always been that type of guy. All right, Daniel Vega. He said, who's been the biggest camp surprise so far? Well, Daniel, I'm not going to give you 10 because there is going to be an article on our website of 10 camp surprises. And I think the spirit of this question is which player has been the biggest surprise. It's not the biggest surprise to me. Any player doing well, the biggest surprise is that Zach Martin's not here. That's the biggest surprise. The biggest player, though, it's Jalen Brooks. 83. He's unbelievable. He has been phenomenal. Not just for a 7th-round pick, and not for a 7th-round pick who didn't catch any passes at South Carolina. He has been phenomenal if you just look at the tape and go, who's this guy? Oh, he's our 2nd-round pick out of Virginia. Oh, he looks great. Well, he's the 7th-round pick out of South Carolina, and he looks great. He had a catch today's practice in the back of the end zone. It was a 50-yard bomb from Dak. Can't remember the corner that was trying to cover. It was not Diggs. I don't remember. But he does go up against – now he's in the rotation. He's going up against some of these top corners. But he had great separation. Did not look like he was going to catch up to this pass in the back of the end zone. He makes a diving catch for what would be a touchdown. Rolls, does a somersault, gets up. This, you're kind of waiting for the bottom to drop here. I mean, have a bad day, hit a rookie wall, show us why you went in the 7th round. Not seeing it. Jalen Brooks has been really good. I think he's been the 3rd best receiver here. I'm not saying he's the 3rd best receiver. I think he has been the 3rd best receiver. I think Cooks and CD have been outstanding. I think this guy's been right there. Sometimes it's easy to say that when your expectations are low. All right. Ken Will Win is the name of this one. Ken Will Win. He says, do you think Micah will be more prone to some offside penalties, teams trying to draw him offsides? What's the over-under there? I'll take one a game for a sack. DeMarcus Ware used to do it all the time. Flozell Adams led the league in false start penalties, but nobody was really getting around him. DeMarcus got 20 sacks one year. I think he got like 15 offside penalties. It happens. It happens. It's not an excuse. It's not say, don't worry about it. But if he can stay somewhat disciplined, it happens every now and again. That's fine. For the most part, though, get after the quarterback. Get after the quarterback, and if that's what they're having to do to try to draw you off sides, as long as it's not all the way down the field and create a drive for someone, have some discipline. But for the most part, I'm not too worried about a 5-yard sack if he's getting a strip sack, forced fumble a few plays later. All right, Patrick from Houston. He says, should the Cowboys have drafted a kicker in each of the last 2 years? Sure. I mean, where? Right now it looks like the Cowboys' comfort level of taking kickers is 5th, 6th, 7th round. And there was 2 good ones this year. They both went, 3rd, 4th round. They went higher than what the Cowboys are comfortable doing. That's just the way it is. Should they have a little bit more, presence there? Should they say, man, we got to get a kicker way earlier than this? A little bit more urgency. Sure. I'm fine with that. I know this isn't fantasy football, but that's the way I do it. And when I'm drafting in fantasy football, I want to get the best guy at this position. So I'm usually the first one to take the kicker or the defense or the tight end, which that's different now with Kelsey at tight end. He's in a first round. But back in the day, you waited a little bit. And I say all this to say, me personally, because kickers matter so much, I'm taking a kicker a little bit earlier than most teams. If there's one that I'm like, this guy is really, really great or has the potential to be great. So Cowboys really aren't there just yet. All right. Scott from New Jersey. What rookie is going to crush it this year? Which draft pick? I mean, Mozzie Smith, he's the first-round pick, but I don't see him making like a huge splash. It is hard to make a splash at that position. It doesn't mean that you can't solidify the run, but it's going to be hard to just come in and just be a difference maker at that position. I think the guy that has a chance to do it the most is probably Overshown from third-round linebacker from Texas. He could play all over the field. Of course, Jalen Brooks looks great. Deuce Vaughn, I mean, that's going to be fun to watch. And then, Eric Scott Jr., he's a really good corner too. So they got a lot of options. I think Deuce will probably have the most wow plays this year. All right. Well, that's it for my questions here. That's it for this show. It's been fun. Johnathan Hankins, we want to thank him for coming by, and also thank Chris Beam for running around and getting this set up. And Chris Beam, I'm telling you, if I don't know him, he could be in the NASCAR pit crew, because not only does he know how to get things done, he can do it like in 15 seconds, Like, I need to switch this out for this camera. Like, all right, go. I mean, that's what he does. He's like MacGyver. Love him. He's the best, and he's beating in the sun right now. So, all right, let's get out of here. It's been a great show. Looking forward to tomorrow's show. Looking forward to tomorrow's show. For next time, this has been Cowboys Storyline. Peace.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?